Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. One of my biggest frustrations in my job right now, I teach for Maricopa colleges, is that we either have too much work or nothing at all, and that's not work-life balance, in my opinion. That's like saying you have an eating balance by binging half the year, and then the rest of the year you starve yourself to death, right? That makes about as much sense as that, right? Actually, I would much rather eat like that if I could, because I could get a lot more stuff done if I had months and months where I didn't have to eat, right? So right now, I hope to eventually work with some other metals in my art project that are not exactly the safest metals on the periodic table, right? Especially thallium and maybe radium, glow in the dark kind of stuff, and maybe tellurium. It makes interesting crystals as well. And you get the idea. You don't want to be putting your hands anywhere. You're probably going to be dressed up in all sorts of PPE. And if I didn't have to eat, I could just live my life in the PPE without ever taking it off, right? I would probably do that, right? But unfortunately, we have to eat, right? That's the tricky part. Right? If we didn't, I could just keep the PPE on forever, right? But unfortunately, we have a week and a half of break, and I'm just bored out of my mind. And then we get back to classes in session, and then I'm just burnt out of my mind. I wish instead of that we just had more long weekends. I love long weekends, right? So we do have a Memorial Day weekend coming up. That I do love. That's about the right amount of time for me to clear my thoughts, right? But a week, 2 weeks, really? Like, I'm just going to be bored out of my mind, get myself in all sorts of trouble, have sleep problems, eating problems. And unfortunately, that's the kind of trouble I run into, right? My idea of how I live my life, sometimes it might not be wrong, but it's different, and it causes drama, right? See, if I had it my way, I wish our work schedule could be more fluid, right? So imagine, it might not work in an environment like Phoenix College, but imagine you work for, because right now a lot of people are talking about those fast food minimum wages in California. See, I think they're going in the wrong direction. I'd rather see better working conditions. If you have good working conditions, you can always improve yourself to make more, right? The other direction doesn't work very well. You get a lot of money, then what? You still have to negotiate things that make your life well, right? So what I would love to see is a McDonald's. Let's say you had a McDonald's that was open 24 hours. I know they're not common these days anymore, but the same could apply on a more limited basis if it weren't. Okay, let's say your McDonald's is open 24 hours and you get a bunch of employees, right? Let's say you have 20 employees. Now, why not allow them to come in and out whenever they want, right? Let's say they want to work 30 hours a week. I would allow those 30 hours to be at your convenience, right? Now, would that be chaos? I don't think so. Because think about it. Do your customers come on schedule? Do you still have a good sense of how many customers there are in the store and how to best serve them? Right? Why can't it happen on the employee side of things, right? Now, I'm not sure how that would apply at a college like Phoenix College. One way it could apply is that obviously I teach a lot more. I'm capable of teaching a lot more than just a few classes, right? So imagine if I could just come and go whenever I want, and whatever time I come, I just teach whatever class is going on, right? Of course, if the students are allowed to come and go whenever they want to, that might be a little bit trickier. I still think it can be done. Think about it. How do you go see a movie on a Friday night? Do you schedule a time, or do the movies play at different times, right? Now, obviously, the students might get a different professor every day, but I think that's beautiful too. You get a different perspective, right? And I think the big improvement is that everybody will sleep a whole lot better, right? I guarantee I'll never have a student fall asleep in my class again, right? That's a big soreness of mine. I'll never be half asleep while teaching either, right? I'll be well rested. I won't have to worry about meal times, right? I'll be energized, well rested. I won't be angry in the middle of a class, right? Not that I ever have, but you get the idea, right? I won't be as irritable of wanting to get out of the classroom to eat, right? I had a problem at a tutoring center 2 years ago. I only had 15 minutes in between two students to get some food, and then my second student decided he wanted to show up early, and I really loved working with him, and so I was munching away, and then it made me almost want to throw up, right? You know, it's difficult to enjoy the taste of your food when you're talking, at least for me. I don't know about other people. But in a society where we didn't have regular schedules and people came to work when it flowed the best, right? Let's put it that way. I wouldn't say come to work whenever they want to. Come to work when they work the best, right? When things are flowing good, right? I think it would be a beautiful thing. Now, obviously, there are drawbacks, right? But feel free to leave a comment if you want to make suggestions to what I just said. I really think it could work, right? And I think we would get a whole lot more out of our work, right? All right, just some food for thought on how we could best make the most out of our most important resource, right? Our time and our energy, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.